So we have discussed continental drift theory of F.B. Taylor, continental drift theory of Alfred Wegener, and if you look these two theories, there is one fundamental error. That error is they were wrong in assuming that the tidal force of the moon and sun is responsible for the drifting of continents. Okay, has the tidal force of the moon and sun or any other external force was so powerful that could drive the continents apart, then it will eventually stop the rotation of the earth as such. So any external force is not going to be the answer. Now in 1960 we know that there was a resurrection of Alfred Wegener's continental drift theory and there was a plate tectonics theory. But before I take you to plate tectonics theory, let's discuss sea floor spreading theory given by Harry Haas. Okay, what does it mean? And let me ask you an interesting question. If I tell you which of the crust is the oldest, the ocean basin is the oldest or the continental basin is the oldest, most of the people, most of the time, end up answering that the ocean basin is the oldest one. However, it is extremely wrong. If you look at all the basins of the ocean basins of the world, none of them are older than 200 million years ago, million years. Whereas if you look at continental basins, if you look at the Australian Shield or which are part of Gondwana land, they are pretty much very old land masses. If you look at peninsular India, the Deccan Plateau region, very old masses. So the ocean basins are the youngest one, whereas the continental crusts are oldest one. Let me show you something. So these are the mountain range. This is the continental block. Continental crust. And this one is the oceanic crust. If you look at continental crust, the length of the continental crust is somewhere around 5 to 35 kilometers. Okay, whereas oceanic crust, they are merely 0 to 5 kilometers. So which one is the thicker one? The continental crust is much thicker than the oceanic crust, and the oceanic basin is youngest one as compared to the continental blocks. Okay, so that means to say the ocean basin of Indian Ocean is younger as compared to the peninsular India. Okay, now sea floor spreading is an interesting concept and it helps you understand what plate tectonics specifically. So let's discuss the sea floor spreading. It was given by Harry Haas. He was a professor in Princeton University. Okay, and he gave this theory in 1960. How he came to know this theory, we'll talk about it. But let's discuss the core idea of his theory. What was the core idea of his theory? If you look at the Earth as a system, the uppermost layer is we have lithosphere, crust and lithosphere. Okay, so this is the lithosphere or the plates, and then below that we have till asthenosphere is somewhere around 100 kilometer. You will find asthenosphere. So below the lithosphere immediately we have something called asthenosphere, and asthenosphere is plastic. It is magmatic, composed of magma, and it is plastic in nature. That means it exhibits elasticity. Okay, so and this magma in the asthenosphere, it is keeps on churning. Okay, and because there is a churn of magma in the asthenosphere, that is what creates the convective system and makes the plates move. Okay, now let's look at this diagram. If there is a churning of this way, okay, when there is a this at this part, it is creating a divergence. That means it is ripping apart the plates. Okay, so if a plate is there and there is a magmatic churning going in opposite directions, then it will eventually rip apart this plate, okay, and take them away. And because it is taking them away, ripping the plates apart, what will happen? The magma will outpour. Okay, and slowly, because the ripping takes place in a very slow manner or diastrophic manner, what will happen? Slowly the magma will come out and it will slowly deposit, okay, on layers and layers and layers, okay, and it will spread miles and miles and miles, okay. The magma will be much fluid, basaltic, mostly basaltic magma, and it will spread in layers. So this is essentially volcanic eruption of slow types, non-violent types, okay. Now when the magma is, when there is a ripping of plates apart, because this is a zone of divergence, so here the magma is coming and accumulating itself, and due to this accumulation and accretion, what will happen? It will create traps. The basaltic lava that is coming out will deposit and solidify on layers and layers and layers. Because of this layering, it will create a strata like structure, okay, strata, and it will spread miles and miles because it is very fluid, okay. And this essentially happens in the mid-oceanic ridges. If you look at, say, Atlantic Ocean has a, let me explain you in a simpler manner. This is the shape of Atlantic Ocean, okay. If you look at it, here we have North America, here we have Europe, here we have South America, here we have Africa, okay. This is North America, here we have South America, here we have Africa, here we have Europe, okay. Now on the mid basin, on the exactly middle part of it, on the mid part of the Atlantic Ocean, because there is a zone of divergence, what is happening? Slowly the basaltic, because the plates are torn apart and ripped apart, so the lava is coming out and slowly deposition is happening, and it is creating, it has created a mid-oceanic ridge. Because there is accretion, it has created a ridge. Ridge is a small mound like structure, okay. So, and this ridge is very continuous. If you look at Greenland also, Greenland, it is essentially extension of mid-oceanic ridge, okay. Now let's discuss the core idea. So if you look at Atlantic Ocean, the mid-oceanic ridge, in the middle part of the ocean there is a ripping apart, it is a zone of divergence, so basaltic lava is coming out and creating mound like structure, that's why we called it mid-oceanic ridge. And this ridge, extension of this ridge essentially is Greenland also, okay, and it is a very continuous ridge. Similarly in the Indian Ocean also we will find these things, okay. Now you understood that because there is a zone of divergence, and due to the magmatic churning, the mid-oceanic ridge is created. Similarly, if you look at if the convective current are bringing the two plates closer, what will happen? There is a plate collision will happen, and when there is a plate collision, okay, when two plates are brought together and collide, one plate, say this is plate 1 and plate 2, and this plate can be continental, oceanic, continental, any of it, okay. So what will happen essentially? When there is a collision of two plates brought together, see here, in zone of convergence, or here also zone of convergence, what will happen? Over there, essentially what happens? The denser plate gets subducted under the lighter plate. So this is the lighter plate, so this will be lifted little bit and mountains will be created over here, whereas the denser part gets subducted, okay. And this zone is called Wadati-Benioff zone. And when this plate gets subducted, it touches the magmatic chamber and again it it melts, okay, and that is becomes part of magma. So here Wadati-Benioff zone, the denser plate gets subducted and the lighter plate gets uplifted. I'll give you a very interesting example. If you look at Himalaya, they say that Himalaya is still rising. Why? Himalaya, there are two plates. One is Indian plate and there is Eurasian plate. and Indian plate is getting subducted under Eurasian plate, and there is a rise of Himalaya happening. Okay. So that is a continental collision. We will discuss that in detail in plate tectonics, and there are some major plates that we should know about, and also some important minor plates across the world that we will discuss as part of plate tectonics. Okay. Now, what is the core idea of Harries and sea floor spreading? The core idea is that lithosphere is there and there is a magmatic churning going on below the lithosphere, which is known as asthenosphere and which exhibits elasticity or plasticity, and due to this convective system is responsible for driving the plates or the continents or the ocean basins either apart. They bring the plates closer sometimes, and there is a collision which is known as zone of convergence, and when there is a zone of convergence there is a destruction of plate. Okay, part of the plate is getting destroyed, so it is a zone of destruction as well. Okay. Plates get destroyed here, whereas in the zone of divergence that happens mostly in mid-oceanic regions or mid-oceanic regions. So there is a magmatic rise and there is a new plates are getting created over here. That's why he went ahead and postulated that plates are created in the mid-oceanic basins and they are destroyed in the trenches. These are known as trenches. Okay. And if you look at Pacific Ring of Fire, over there all the plates are getting destroyed, whereas in mid-oceanic ridge, mid-oceanic ridge of Atlantic Ocean, if you look at Indian Ocean, the plates are getting created. Okay. So the key question before us, which one is older, continental crust or oceanic crust? The answer is oceanic crust. Okay. So let's get to the second part of it, the evidence and how we came to theorize this particular theory. So we have discussed the core idea of sea floor spreading given by Harry Hess. Now let's discuss the evidence. The prime evidence of sea floor spreading comes from the study of paleomagnetism. What is paleomagnetism? Paleomagnetism is a study of magnetism in geological history. Okay. And also it is connected with magnetic pole wandering, that is temporal reversal of Earth's magnetic field. The magnetic field of the Earth has not been constant in its geological history. It keeps on reversing after certain time intervals. So, for example, and then what they did, there were two scientists, W.G. Vine and Matthews. They went to Indian Ocean to study Carlsberg ridge. They studied the Carlsberg ridge, and what they found a very pattern or very interesting pattern across the mid-oceanic ridge. They went to the mid-oceanic ridge and they studied. From there they started studying the the stripes or the oceanic basins toward on the both ends of the mid-oceanic ridge. Okay. So they found out that, see, let me tell you an example. Suppose in particular period of time the Earth's magnetic field is oriented as north-south this way, and when the basaltic magma is coming out and is getting deposited nearby, it will be magnetized, and it will be magnetized according to the Earth's magnetic field. So it will have a say north-south orientation. However, after certain periods of time there is a polar reversal, magnetic polar reversal. Say it becomes south-north, and when the lavas will be coming out, they will have a south-north orientation. When it will be say magnetized, it has to correspond to the magnetic field of the Earth, so it will have similar kind of orientation. So there were different scientists, Brunès, Matsuyama, Gauss and Gilbert. They found out the stripes, similar patterns across the both ends of the mid-oceanic ridge. Okay. So this particular stripe has a typical magnetic pole, whereas in say Brunès, the magnetic pole will be say north-south orientation. I am just telling you for example. Okay. Whereas in say Matsuyama is this and this, they will have a reversal of the magnetic pole. Okay. So this suggests that the through paleomagnetism study we came to know that there has been reversal of the magnetic pole of the Earth, as well as new oceanic crusts are getting created in a continuous manner. Okay, that's how, and this is the reason why the sea floor keeps on spreading. Okay, as I told you, sea floor is created near the mid-oceanic ridge and it is destroyed near the Iceland arc or trenches. So we have discussed the sea floor spreading given by Harry Hess, and we have discussed the evidence behind it and how it, we have came to know that how plates or the continents are created along the mid-oceanic ridge and how the crust is getting destroyed at the trenches. So now most important aspect is the what is the rate of spread of this sea floor. Okay, so rate of spreading of sea floor can be deducted on the basis of study of two things. One is on the basis of age of isochrone. Isochrone is what? The lines joining points of equal dates of the magnetic stripes plotted on the map. So that is what we know as isochrones. Okay, and on the basis of distance between the two isochrones. Okay, so for example, if there is a mid-oceanic ridge here, okay, say this belongs to one edge, okay, and the distance between these two isochrones will help us decide the rate of spread of the sea floor. Now similarly, there have been multiple studies in Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean, and according to that, scientists have determined the rate of spread of these major oceans of the earth. Atlantic Ocean, the rate of spread is 2 cm per year, and when I say 2 cm per year, we are talking about one side of the ridge. That's why I have mentioned only one side of the ridge, or MOR. MOR is mid-oceanic ridge. Okay. So whenever I mention MOR, it essentially means mid-oceanic ridge. Okay. So 2 cm per year for Atlantic Ocean is one side, only one side of the MOR. Okay, only one side of the MOR. That means if this is the mid-oceanic ridge, we are talking about only one side. If you take the total spread in Atlantic Ocean is 4 cm per year, and similarly for Indian Ocean, at one side it is somewhere around 1.5 to 3 cm per year or 3 to 6 cm per year. Okay, total spread. Same goes for Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean, the spread is somewhere around 12 to 18 cm per year. And if you look at Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean, the rate of spread is very sluggish. Okay, whereas for Pacific Ocean, the rate of spread is very rapid. Okay, so now we come to conclusion. So let's do a summary of seafloor spreading. If you look at continental drift theory of F.B. Taylor and Wegener, the fundamental error in their theory was the absence of a proper force or competent force that could drive the continents and the ocean blocks, thousands and thousands miles. That was a fundamental error, and that is the reason why continental drift theory has been rejected or criticized widely. Okay. So we understood what is seafloor spreading, what the core concept and who gave it, and what is the rate of spread of all the seafloor. Let's summarize. So the concept was given by Harry Hess. He belongs to Princeton University, USA, and he gave this concept in 1960. He took data from different oceanographers and their studies. One of them prominent being Scripps Institute of Oceanography, who has done extensive study on oceanography. And he also, and what was the core idea of his theory? The core idea is that the lithosphere, because it is floating over the asthenosphere, magmatic asthenosphere, below the lithosphere we have magmatic asthenosphere, and asthenosphere is the reason why there has been divergence of plates and convergence of plates or continents. Okay, how is that happening? Because in asthenosphere the magmatic churning is going on, and this churning, at one point they are bringing the plates closer. When they bring plates closer, there is a collision, the denser plate gets subducted and gets destroyed. It is also known as the zone of destruction, whereas the lighter plate gets uplifted. Okay, and when there is a zone of divergence, when plates are getting ripped apart, there is a magmatic there is a outflow of magma in the form of lava, basaltic lava specifically, and this phenomena is observed along the mid-oceanic ranges, and they create mid-oceanic ridge. As the lava comes out of the mid of the ocean and starts depositing or accretion happens, then we see mid-oceanic ridges. Okay, we have mid-oceanic ridges in Indian Ocean, in Atlantic Ocean, etc. Okay, so that we have discussed. And then what was the evidence? If you look at the paleomagnetic study of all the oceanic floor, there has been magnetic anomalies observed across the sea floor, and based on that they have given the idea that there has been magnetic polar wandering of the earth, as well as it corroborates the fact that there has been a sea floor spreading. Okay, and then rate of spreading of sea floor, as I told you, Atlantic and Indian Ocean, the rate of spreading of sea floor is very sluggish in nature, somewhere around 4 to 6 centimeter per year, whereas Pacific Ocean, it is somewhere around 12 to 18 centimeter per year. Okay, sea floor spreading theory is going to help us understand the plate tectonics in its entirety. So that's why it is one of the most important theory prior to prior we get into the theory of plate tectonics. Done.